Hi, Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. Today we're going to be doing the cotton cuts. This is Clue 6, the Stratford Mystery 2019. And this is my color wave. Here are my colors all laid out. First thing we're going to do is we are going to take the square one here, right there, and we're going to attach it to the little one up there. Okay, so if you guys are following along and you're getting these, go ahead and let's get started. Now I'm using a 2.5-inch stitch. I'm using white thread, either white or cream, but I'm using white today. This is your standard universal needle. When you get finished with it, it's going to look like this. And when you iron it, first iron on this seam here so that you can relax your seam. Then when you're done, take your iron, have the fabric like this, take your iron over that so that when you iron this, the seam goes towards the square. Alright, so go ahead and do both of those. Now you're going to take the rectangle and the triangle, which is the other color because this is my light purple, which is my C, and you're going to do the same thing. Instead of it being a square, it's a rectangle, and you're going to attach it the same way. And if I didn't mention it before, the last one was 2, and this one also is 2. The only difference is that when you iron this, you're going to iron it the opposite direction, so you're going to iron it towards the triangle instead of towards the rectangle this time. And the reason you do not take them all and iron them the same direction is you want them to nuzzle when they get put together. And they're just giving you the answer. If you were just making this up as you go, and you didn't know, or you got this off of a pattern that doesn't normally tell you which way to go. This one does tell you. So when you iron it, this time, you're going to set your seam just like before, and then when you do it, it's going to be going that direction. So let's do both of them, and then we'll come back. Now you have 2 like this, and you have 2 like that done. Moving right along. 1 and 2, and we're going to sew these together. So they're going to look like that. And then when you press them, we're going to press them towards the purple. I'm going to show you how I pin this. So here's the piece. And I take it at the top left because this is a long strip matching a long strip. I put my pin in there. I come all the way to the end. Now, keep the seam going the correct direction. Put this corner to this corner. Don't try to meet it out there. Go right to that edge. And then pin it right where your seam is because you want to keep it folded. Whoops. And then go to the middle where this other seam is right here. Press it down and put a pin in it. And then you end up with 3 of them. Get my hands out of the way. Like that. And then we'll sew that. If you want, you can chain stitch these. The wonderful thing about cotton cuts is it's all cut for you and it all works when you put it seam to seam. It's just like having the Gemini or the AccuQuilt Go or I'm trying to think of the other one from the Missouri Star Quilt. I can't think of the name of that one. But all these little machines that cut your fabric, they always cut your little tails off. And I think those are fantastic. And that's it. Now we'll iron it. You'll have 2 that look like this. And it wants us to put, this color right here goes across the bottom. And we're going to sew them on. Next, I'm going to chain stitch these also. Usually as soon as I get it started, I will go ahead and pull out that first pin. Now we're ironing it to F, so it's going to look like this. They're all going to look like they're going that direction, towards that fabric, which is F. This strip here is called E8. We're going to sew E8 on the left-hand side of both of these blocks. All right, I've got them both pinned, and now we're going to sew these think I need a pin grabber. Every time I cut my fingernails, and I did not really think I cut them that short, especially since I can still see the white of the nail, but I can't get a grip on these pins. We're going to iron this towards E, which is the big piece. I should be saying we're going to iron it towards the long piece, because really this is the big piece. The next piece that it's asking for is D3, which is this piece here, and it goes up there, and then that makes it a rectangle. So let's add these pieces on. This is where you take your fabric, you fold it in half, because we want to get the middle point. Pinch it a little bit right here so you got the middle, so you can see where the middle is. And then we already know that the middle is right here. So we're matching up the center where it meets. Make sure and keep your fold. For example, this is going that direction. And you want to make sure that that's right in the middle. Put a pin in it. And then go to each corner and pin it. And then if you need more pins, because remember now this is on the bias, so we got to be careful so that we don't stretch it. So I always like to put a little extra pins in here. I like to put one between here, because see how it's moving? We don't want that to do that. That'll distort our block. So go ahead and pin your blocks up. Now just take your time. And if you feel that you've pinned it and you've got a little bit of wave in it, then put the part that's got more fabric on the bottom, because the bottom will feed it and it'll take it up. And you can, and as it's going, it's actually pulling a little bit, which is straightening it out. You don't need to do any pulling yourself. The machine's going to pull your fabric for you. You're just holding this end steady so that you get your 1/4 inch. And right off the edge. And then we're going to iron them open. It says to iron towards the D, which means iron it towards this here. Now we're looking at A2 and C2. We're going to sew these together, and then we're going to iron it towards the C, which is this one. So first pin it. Now we're going to add D3 to this, and remember this is where you want to get your center, so you want to go ahead and fold your fabric just like before, just to get an idea where the middle is. If you don't know where to be putting the middle, you want to put it right down the seam of this side. Whoops, it looks like I need to sew that again. Hold on one second, let me get that done. So what I was saying a minute ago is that you take the fold, and wherever that little seam is, you're going to kind of put it on the left hand side of this seam, because it would be as if it was nestled in there. All right, because down the middle of this is actually where your thread is going. And then go to each end, and I can already tell that I'm going to have a little bit extra on the bottom. I'm going to show you here in a minute, because it's going to be wavy when I get it pinned. And you can see it's got a little bit of a wave going on here. Let me turn it. It looks like there's, I keep hitting my pins is the problem. It looks like there's a little bit more on the back side than the front side. See it right here where my finger's at? And I'll show you when you go through the sewing machine how to fix that. It's also going to be on this right hand side. And that's okay if yours is like that. It'll almost be a 1/4 of an inch too much and still work itself out. So all I do is kind of bend my fabric like this, which makes up for it. Put a pin in the middle. This way it's evenly distributed. From that pin to this pin, when you bend it like this, you've distributed even though the back's got a little bit more on it. I hope y'all can hear me over this air conditioner. I cannot turn it off because I'd be just boiling in here. Alright, so now we're going to sew it on this side because the feed dogs will grab this extra fabric and pull it in, and it won't be wavy. Just going to take our time. I'm not going to hold on to the fabric or anything. Let it feed itself. The intersection, I'm going to be really careful because that's where the thickest part of this is. Shouldn't have a problem with your sewing machine going over that bump. If your fabric is being, if you feel like your needle isn't going through your fabric smoothly, then you need to be changing your needle about now. I know that they say to change it after every project, but my needles don't get dull like that. I can pretty well tell when my needles are dull. And if you're not sure, then by all means change yours out more often. Because it's just like a pin. It'll get a little burr on the end of it. Now we're going to take this and we're going to open it, and we are going to be going towards this fabric when we iron it. So go ahead and do both of yours like this, like that, and we're going to put F7 to the bottom of it. Alright, this is our C2, this is our F7. And then we're going to iron towards the F. So we're going to iron this direction. Let's get those two put together and sew. Let's go ahead and sew these up. And then we're going to be labeling these. So we have 2 sets of blocks this month. So I want to let you know that I'm coming along pretty good on that 2019 What's in the Box mystery with the Gourmet Quilter. And we're just about to wrap that up. And when we get it wrapped up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some still pictures of what I have so far, because we have not put any of it together. All we've done is built the things. Sort of like this here, where we built all the different blocks and made strips and things like that. And so then before I actually start putting all of it together, which I think we're going to start doing it on Thursday, then I will show you. Because she made a comment in the email that we were wrapping it up. So I'll have to wait and see if that means the tail ending or if she meant the building of the blocks. We'll see. So let's iron these. Now all 4 of the blocks are finished. It's 2 on the top. I'm going to get it closer to show you here. 2 of them there. 2 of them here. I've got them marked. There's 6A and 6B. If you like this video and you have not subscribed, go ahead and do that so that you can catch my videos each time they're up. Click on the little bell and it'll give you a notification. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something. If you'd like to join Cotton Cuts, they have different times of the year that they put out these blocks. And this is the 2nd year I've done it. They've already started 2 this year. And they'll probably start another one come fall. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.